What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today.
Hey everybody, Jonathan here, aka Mini Superheroes Today, and today we're taking a look and comparing the two playset-sized LEGO Star Wars Star Destroyers. On the left here, we have set 6211 from the year 2006, and over here we have set 75055 from the year 2014. Now, there have been many different interpretations of the LEGO Star Destroyer over the years. However, these are the only two that I call playset size, meaning you can open them up and actually play on the inside with your minifigures. There have been two Ultimate Collector Series versions of this ship and tons of smaller micro builds, but those certainly don't count. But, for LEGO Star Wars fans, particularly those that play with their LEGO stuff, this is like a dream LEGO Star Wars set for any collector to get. In fact, when I was growing up, this was the one I always dreamed about getting, and about a month ago, I found one on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $35 for this, if you can believe it. So I was all over that. This is like a dream set. And then over here, I recently got this on Facebook Marketplace too. I bought somebody's collection that just happened to be in there, and considering I was able to get both of these within the span of, I don't know, maybe the last 6-7 weeks or so, I figured, you know what? While I have them both, it would be cool to do a shootout and compare and contrast the two and decide of these two which is the ultimate version to get. Now, I came up with 3 criteria that I want to grade these on. I'm going to grade them on their size, and, as Yoda tells us, size matters not, so just because this one's bigger or this one's smaller doesn't automatically make one better or worse. We'll take a look at that, but one thing I'm grading on is size. The other is the look, how does it feel? What's the aesthetic like? Does the outside look good? And all of that. And then the last thing I'm grading on is the interior, because these two have very different interpretations of how this ship is going to look, and we will take a closer look at all of that in today's video, but I wanted to give 3 parts of criteria to grade on so that we could have a, even split thing here where, one will come out victorious, right? Like, somebody's gonna get the best of 3, and that will help us determine which of these two is the ultimate minifig playset version of the Star Destroyer from LEGO. So without further ado, let's take a look at those exteriors on this ship. Alright, so we're going to start by taking a look at the size of these two, which of course means we're taking a look at the exterior features. You can see I've placed a Darth Vader minifig out front, and I do want to point out that we are not looking at the minifigs from these sets because unfortunately I don't have all the minifigs from them. That's just the nature of getting these things used, but this video is just looking at the value of, the sets themselves that they stand on, not necessarily the figures. So that Vader figure is up front so you can take a look at the size, and let's start taking a closer look at both of these. So we're taking a look at the 2006 version here first, and I have Vader up front just so you can see the sheer size of this thing. It is absolutely incredible. You can see you have lots of like green lightsaber hilts coming out that are supposed to look like, laser cannons or whatever. Speaking of which, of course, there are some cannons there that move. Up top, we have a really nice deck which you can actually fit minifigs in. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But it is a very nice exterior and absolutely the bigger of the two. When you put Vader in front of him, you can see that it is just, considerably larger than the other version. So that's something very cool. And let's go ahead and flip it around. You can see from the side here that there's just a lot of thickness on this. Now, like I said, these sets are not 100% complete. Again, getting them used, that's one of the things you run the gambit of, but, it does allow us to see them as they are for a comparison. So we've got that down, and then like I said, you can actually move this back, and you can put some minifigs up in that top section. So that's incredibly cool, and the size of this thing is just a behemoth. So on size, it's incredible to look at this. Now that brings us to the 2014 version over here, just showing them side by side. You can see that the 2006 version is considerably larger, but this definitely has the smoother exterior. I think that this exterior looks a lot better, especially alongside modern LEGO Star Wars sets. Something cool here is there's this tab you can pull that actually moves all of the guns. There's one of those on both sides, which is cool. And this actually has a handle that lifts up and allows you to pick up the whole thing and swoosh it around, which is incredibly cool. Now, this one does not have the same open up feature, so you can't put any minifigs up in the top section. But when we flip this around, you can see that the back engine area looks really, really fantastic as well. So this one definitely loses out on the size ratio, right? Like the size is definitely better for the 2006 version. So that's gonna be our clear winner for this part of it. But I do have to give some honor points to the more recent version, the 2014, because the exterior does look pretty darn good. So that's what I'm gonna give here. So far, we've got 1 point out of 3 going to the 2006 version. Now, as I was saying, the exteriors of these do look incredibly different. This one is a bit more of a behemoth with the size, but I do like the sleek look of this one as well. That said though, the top of this portion and just the fact that it looks so massive, I've got to give it to the 2006 version on the overall look. I know that I said this one looks more sleek. I'm giving the honor system point to that one, but I don't know. When I think of this ship, I just think of how menacing it is, and I just get that more, evil empire feeling from this one than I do from this one. Both look great for sure, but I got to give the look point to the 2006 version. All right, so now we are going to look at the interiors of these two sets. Now, they open in completely different ways. This one, the more modern version, it just literally lifts up and off like that, and then you can pick up these wings and it exposes the inside just like that. So let's move that over here just for the time being, because this one is a lot more tricky to actually open up. So there's a tab on the back. I'll lift this up so you can see. There's a tab all the way back here that you have to lift that. Lift that tab, and then the whole thing comes up and off because it kind of locks onto this little spine piece that sticks up here. So once that's out, we'll flip this back around right way up, and it opens up just like that. So our interiors are incredibly different between the two, and I will say that on the more modern version, you do lose a lot of real estate on the side pieces here, whereas here, you still keep a lot of the interior here. One of the big things I want to point out too is that the piece count of these is incredibly similar. They're both just over 1,300 pieces, so it's really fascinating to see like what LEGO did with almost the exact same piece count between the two. When you look at the price range too, this one was $100 when it came out new, and I think that this one was around like $130, $140. So it's interesting that the cheaper one, well, you have to adjust for inflation over time too. So really they would have been around the same price point for the years that they came out, but the piece count is the thing that I think is most interesting. They're almost exactly the same amount of pieces, yet this one is considerably bigger with more space, and this one packs some more detail. So let's take a closer look at those interiors and we'll start judging. All right, so the 2006 is coming up first, and we've got a little escape pod here, which is pretty cool. Opens up, you could fit some minifigs inside there, and then it just locks up like that. Easier said than done, apparently. But you just set it right on here. You can see that there's a little slope that you build there, and you could push this, and it would push this out if you pick it up, right? In fact, we could go ahead and do it because we are here live on video. So you go like this, and boom, it will fall out and through. Just a kind of cool, random little quirky feature. Now, when we move it around to the side here, we have Vader's meditation chamber over here. And we've, of course, got our Darth Vader minifig. And something really interesting is that this piece here is actually built to fit his helmet in, so I see. It's supposed to fit something like this, but I've never been able to quite get it. I guess it just kind of fits like this or something. I don't know. I just saw online that that's how it's supposed to go. But of course, these pieces open up here, and then you can seat Vader in his little meditation chamber and close that back up for him. So that's kind of cool. Neat little feature. And then there's a little piece over here. I don't know if his helmet's supposed to be like displayed on there or something. It fits perfectly, but when we pick this up, you can see that there's a sticker back here with some wall paneling. Of course, we get another one over here, but perhaps the most interesting thing is this translucent piece that actually has an Emperor Palpatine sticker on it, like for his transmission where he talks to him. So when I took that out, it actually kind of broke there, but we just need to slide this piece back through here. Clip that back in and we're good as new. And truth be told, I'm not 100% sure what goes back here, except I see that there's actually a little mouse droid hidden back there. I just decimated him pulling him out, but I'll fix that later. So when it comes to the interior, the 2006 version obviously has a lot more open real estate, but one of the things I don't like is that it doesn't have that iconic Imperial walkway where, you know, Vader and Tarkin will stand and look out over the stars. So it really is missing that in my book, and this definitely loses some points for me on that merit alone. Alright, so now we're looking at the 2014 version, and I really like that there's this kind of dark gray, light gray, color theming in here, and of course, the first thing right off the bat is this one does have that Imperial walkway that I was just mentioning from the other ships. So you can see Vader could, walk down here, and you could have some Imperials down here working on the little computers. I think that that is really fantastic. I don't necessarily think the build translates super well, but I think that a lot of the jankiness you see from the underside of the top portion of the ship actually detracts from that. I almost would love to just get a Star Wars playset that's like just this walkway, and you can kind of split the difference and pretend. Now back here on this side, you obviously get a huge amount of, real estate that you could play with your minifigs in here. Got a little computer back here that's nice. This would be like a little weapon stand, I believe. And then if we flip this all the way around here, you can see that there are some battle station plans or something along the lines there. Another computer and a very cool little Emperor holographic piece. So I like that both versions of this set pay homage to the fact that the Emperor would be calling in to his fleet here and talking to his Imperials, but overall, I actually think that the interior for this one is the better play value, right? So the 2006 version obviously has a lot more real estate, but I just love all of the, technology pieces that are pinned to the walls in here, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun exterior build. So, or interior build, excuse me. So I really, really like this one, and I am actually going to give the interior point to the 2014 version we're looking at here. So let's zoom out and see how they fared up against one another. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this comparison. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I would love to do more of these in the future. That being said, we are all here to find out which of these is superior, and in my opinion, it is the 2006 version. It won out in the size comparison that we did. It won out in the looks comparison, especially of the exterior portion, but the interior, it went to the 2014 version. So what I really like about this comparison is it just comes down to what you want as a collector. If you are the kind of person that really digs interiors and having play sets, I think the 2014 version is the one for you. If you like the size of Lego sets and you like exterior builds and aren't really too terribly concerned about the interiors, I think the 2006 is the one for you. But now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and let me know if you agree with all of my points here, if you agree with some of them, and let me know which of the two you think is the superior version of this set. I can't wait to read all those comments. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO videos coming in the near future.